Yeah, I think it was honestly her first Olympics. I don't remember what year that was, but I think it was in Rio. But that was like maybe the one of the first few times. I'm sure I've heard like saw her before then, but like that's the one that sticks in my memory the most. And yeah, I mean she's the greatest, one of the greatest athletes. It's her and Serena for me on my Mount Rushmore of athletes. And yeah, I think her everything that she went through with on the mental side of things of the sport, something that I followed closely and tried to learn from. So to see her there tonight kind of gave me a reminder that I needed, and I was lucky to actually just came from talking to her, so I was able to tell her that in person.
Coco Gauff just dropped some serious truth about Simone Biles in her latest interview, and the internet is going wild. She didn't sugarcoat anything, calling Biles her queen and revealing exactly what advice changed her entire season. Simone's response? Even better. The moment these two connected might explain everything about Gauff's comeback during the Asian tour. Who's on your Mount Rushmore of greatest athletes of all time? Drop your top 4 below. Coco Gauff just said what everyone's been thinking but was too scared to say out loud. Simone Biles is the GOAT, and it's not even close. During a press conference at the WTA Finals in Riyadh, Gauff didn't hold back, calling Biles her queen and explaining how one conversation with the gymnast completely changed her perspective on her entire 2025 season. And here's the kicker. It actually worked. After meeting Biles at the US Open, Gauff went on a tear through the Asian swing, winning Wuhan and making a semifinals run in Beijing. Coincidence? Absolutely not.
How are you?
Good. Nice to see you.
You
Thanks
too.
for coming.
Congrats. Of
Thank
course.
you.
I had you. You've been popping off lately.
Thank
It's
you.
like, gymnastics is so different, so I just wanted to scream. But then they're like, maybe not right now. And I was like, got it.
Thank
I
you.
love watching you, everything you
Thank
do.
you. You're such an inspiration.
Yes,
Like
so are
seriously,
you.
when I said in the interview, I was
No.
thinking about that literally.
Oh, that's
So my
sweet.
mom did gymnastics on a way lower level
Yeah,
than you.
yeah.
And so she was like, if I can focus on that, then you can do that. So I was like, okay, I guess you're right.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, you're an inspiration, seriously.
Thank you.
Yes. Thanks for coming.
Good luck.
Okay.
Let's set the scene because context matters. Gauff met Biles after her second-round victory over Donna Vekic at the US Open. This wasn't some staged PR moment or celebrity photo op. This was two of the biggest names in sports having a genuine conversation. And apparently, Biles dropped some wisdom that hit different. Gauff was struggling, at that point in the season, dealing with pressure, expectations, and probably the weight of being labeled the future of American tennis before she could legally rent a car. Then Biles showed up, shared some advice, and suddenly Gauff's season turned around. Now, Gauff didn't reveal exactly what Biles told her, which is frustrating for us nosy people, but probably smart on her part. Some things are meant to stay private. But whatever Biles said clearly resonated because Gauff specifically credited that conversation with helping her change her perspective on the year. That's massive. We're not talking about technical tennis tips or strategy adjustments. We're talking about mental shift, mindset change, the kind of internal work that separates good players from great ones. And let's be real for a second. If anyone knows about perspective shifts and mental health in sports, it's Simone Biles. This is the woman who withdrew from Olympic events to protect her mental health, faced an avalanche of criticism from people who've never done a backflip in their lives, and then came back stronger than ever. She's literally the poster child for prioritizing mental wellness while still being the greatest gymnast of all time. So when she gives advice about handling pressure and maintaining perspective, you listen. You don't nod politely and ignore it. You actually listen. Gauff clearly listened. After that US Open meeting, she headed to Asia and immediately started playing better tennis. She defended her Beijing title run by reaching the semifinals, only losing to eventual champion Amanda Anisimova. Then she won Wuhan, defeating Jessica Pegula in the final. That's not luck. That's someone who internalized good advice and put it into action. The fact that Gauff publicly credited Biles for helping her get there shows a level of humility and self-awareness that's rare in professional sports.
Patrick, I'm with the most decorated gymnast in history right now, Simone Biles. Simone, you came to the US Open last year for the first time. What brought you back here this year?
Obviously, Coco Gauff. I mean, she's incredible, amazing, and it's like once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So it's just such a privilege to watch her on home soil and watch Black Girl Magic.
But here's where it gets even better. Simone Biles responded. She commented on Gauff's social media post with 5 white heart emojis. Simple, elegant, perfect. No need for a long caption or explanation. Just acknowledgement that she saw it, appreciated it, and supports Gauff. That's the kind of mutual respect between elite athletes that you love to see. They're not competing with each other. They're not in the same sport. They're just 2 young black women at the top of their respective fields, supporting each other publicly. In a world that constantly tries to pit successful women against each other, this friendship is everything.
Just knowing her story with all the things she went through mentally, so she's an inspiration surely, and her presence definitely did help me today.
You're awesome. We appreciate the time. Congratulations. Best of luck moving forward. Coco Gauff!
Now let's talk about Gauff's Mount Rushmore comment, because it's bold and correct. She said Simone Biles and Serena Williams are on her personal Mount Rushmore of athletes. Not tennis players. Athletes. That distinction matters because she's putting Biles in the conversation with the greatest competitor tennis has ever seen. That's high praise, and it's also accurate. Biles has 7 Olympic medals, 19 World Championship golds, and has moves named after her that other gymnasts won't even attempt. She's redefined what's possible in her sport while dealing with unimaginable pressure and scrutiny. Sounds a lot like what Serena did for tennis, doesn't it? The fact that Gauff draws inspiration from Biles' mental health journey is particularly significant. Gauff mentioned following everything she went through on the mental side of things and trying to learn from it. That's smart. That's someone who understands that physical talent only gets you so far. The mental game determines who wins championships and who flames out. Biles choosing to step back at the Tokyo Olympics wasn't weakness. It was the ultimate display of strength and self-awareness, and Gauff recognizing that and applying those lessons to her own career shows maturity beyond her years. Let's also acknowledge that Gauff had the presence of mind to tell Biles all this in person before saying it publicly. She mentioned she just came from talking to her right before the press conference. That's class. She didn't just post something on social media for likes and engagement. She had a real conversation, expressed genuine gratitude face-to-face, and then shared the story publicly. That's how you handle relationships with people you admire. Not through performative social media posts, but through actual human connection. But we can't ignore the elephant in the room. Gauff's 2025 season was a roller coaster. She won the French Open, which is massive. She won Wuhan. She helped Team USA win the United Cup. She won doubles at the Canadian Open with McCartney Kessler. Those are incredible achievements, but she also had some rough patches, including her WTA Finals performance, where she failed to advance past the round-robin stage despite being the defending champion. That's the thing about tennis. It's brutally unforgiving. One week you're on top of the world, the next you're questioning everything. That inconsistency is probably why Biles' advice hits so hard, because Biles knows about comebacks. She knows about dealing with failure on the biggest stages. She knows about people questioning whether you've still got it. And she knows about blocking out noise and focusing on what actually matters. Those are lessons you can't learn from a coaching manual or a motivational poster. Those come from lived experience, from someone who's been through the fire and came out the other side stronger. What's interesting is how Gauff framed the conversation. She didn't say Biles fixed her or gave her some magic solution. She said Biles helped her change her perspective. That's subtle but important. Perspective isn't about changing who you are or how you play. It's about changing how you view challenges, pressure, and setbacks. It's about reframing the narrative in your head from "I'm struggling" to "I'm growing." And that mental shift can be the difference between spiraling and thriving. The timing of their meeting is also worth noting. The US Open is when pressure is at its peak for American players, especially someone like Gauff, who's expected to carry the torch for American women's tennis post-Serena. Every match is analyzed. Every loss is dissected. Every press conference is searching for sound bites. For Biles to show up during that chaos and offer perspective that helped Gauff through the rest of the season? That's friendship. That's mentorship. That's one elite athlete recognizing struggle in another and offering help. And let's talk about the Asian swing success, because it wasn't just about winning matches. Gauff's entire demeanor seemed different. She looked more relaxed, more confident, more like she was enjoying herself rather than grinding through obligation. That's what good mental health advice does. It doesn't just improve your results, it improves your experience. It makes the journey better, not just the destination. And you could see that shift in Gauff's play and body language after the Biles conversation. The criticism Gauff faces is also worth examining because it mirrors what Biles dealt with. Both are young, black female athletes competing in predominantly white spaces. Both are held to impossible standards. Both get criticized for things their white counterparts never face. Both deal with people questioning their commitment, their mental toughness, their worthiness. So when Biles tells Gauff how to handle that noise, it's not theoretical advice. It's survival tactics from someone who's lived it. Gauff calling Biles the GOAT publicly is also significant because greatest of all time debates usually erase women or diminish their achievements. But Gauff isn't qualifying it with greatest female gymnast or one of the best. She's just saying GOAT, period. Full stop. That's the kind of unqualified praise women athletes rarely get, and it matters. It shifts the conversation from best woman in her sport to best athlete in any sport. And Biles deserves that recognition. The fact that this interview happened at the WTA Finals in Riyadh adds another layer. Gauff was defending her title, dealing with the pressure of expectations, and probably feeling the weight of a long season. For her to take time to reflect on meaningful moments from the year and specifically highlight the Biles conversation shows what she values. It's not just about trophies and rankings, it's about connections, growth, and the people who help you become better. What's also beautiful about this story is how organic it seems. There's no indication this was a planned mentorship or some organized program connecting athletes across sports. It was just two people meeting, having a conversation, and one offering wisdom that helped the other. That's how real relationships form. Not through forced networking or transactional interactions, but through genuine connection and mutual respect. Gauff's willingness to publicly credit Biles also says something about her character. She could have kept that conversation private. She could have taken the credit for her Asian swing success herself. Instead, she acknowledged who helped her and gave credit where it was due. That's integrity. That's someone who understands that success is rarely a solo journey and that acknowledging support doesn't diminish your achievements, it enhances them. The social media response to Gauff's comments has been overwhelmingly positive, which is refreshing. Usually, any story involving successful women gets picked apart by trolls and haters. But this one, people are celebrating it. Fans of both athletes are hyped. The crossover appeal of tennis and gymnastics fans coming together to appreciate this friendship is exactly what sports should be about. Not division and competition between fan bases, but recognition that greatness deserves appreciation regardless of the sport. And let's not forget that both Gauff and Biles are still incredibly young. Gauff is 20. Biles is 27. They're both at peaks of their careers with potentially decades of influence ahead of them. This isn't just a nice moment. It's the beginning of what could be a long-term friendship and mentorship that shapes both of their futures. Imagine the impact they could have working together on mental health advocacy, empowering young athletes, or just continuing to support each other publicly. The fact that Gauff ended her 2025 season with 4 titles, the United Cup, French Open, Wuhan Open, and Canadian Open doubles, shows the advice worked. But more importantly, it shows she's building a career that prioritizes both performance and wellness. That's the balance every athlete chases, and having someone like Biles to learn from is invaluable because Biles has figured out how to be the best while also protecting her peace. And that's the ultimate goal. What makes this story resonate is its authenticity. In a sports world full of manufactured narratives and PR-approved statements, this feels real. Gauff genuinely admires Biles. Biles genuinely helped Gauff. Their connection isn't for cameras or sponsors. It's just two elite athletes recognizing each other's humanity and offering support. And in 2025, when everything feels calculated and performative, that authenticity is rare and valuable. So yeah, Coco Gauff just reminded everyone that behind every great athlete is usually another great athlete offering wisdom. Simone Biles changed Gauff's perspective, and the results speak for themselves. If you're here for real stories about athletes supporting athletes without the fluff, Hit that like and subscribe. Who's your dream athlete mentor pairing? Tell us below.